In today's session, we are going to dive into the pleasure portal to prosperity. We are going to talk about the power of pleasure and how it is directly connected to manifestation, to conscious creation. We are going to be working with the root chakra, the perineum, the pelvic floor, and the sacral chakra, the pelvic bowl, these lower two centers predominantly. So I want to talk to you on the level of the mind first to explain how pleasure works as a very powerful thing when it comes to manifestation. It's not just nice, because pleasure is obviously nice and pleasure feels good, but how it actually works when it comes to creation. Now, as you know, I talk about pain being a portal to prosperity as well, but I would want to focus on pleasure in particular, because it's quite interesting, actually, if you think about your relationship with pleasure. How much pleasure do you allow yourself? How often are you in pleasure? It'd be a really interesting thing to take a minute just to tune into. Where are you currently experiencing pleasure in your life? How often do you allow yourself to experience pleasure? And how long can you sustain that pleasure? For myself, I have found pleasure to be a very confronting experience. Part of my work in rewiring to receive has been understanding how much I struggle to allow pleasure in. And this was a really fascinating thing, because my inner guidance was showing me about the pleasure portal to prosperity and how manifestation worked and conscious creation worked, and that pleasure was a really important part of that. And I started to experience directly how much my body was stressed by the idea of pleasure. And so this is a deep dive into money blocks, right? The blocks to pleasure and why they are there. So I want to talk about these money blocks, these blocks to pleasure, why they're there and how they impact you, but also take us through an activation into pleasure, and to create a safe space to allow you to open up to that and help you to understand why that is important. So I'm going to draw a little drawing to show you how it works, the mechanics of manifestation when it comes to pleasure. And then you're going to have your own experience through your body and start a journey, which will be a combination of opening up to pleasure, but also releasing some of those money blocks, working through some of those pain portals to open up to pleasure. And they dance together. Pain and pleasure do dance together. What we want to do is invite you into more pleasure, to help you feel safe to welcome in more pleasure, and to understand how that works as a practice, how to use pleasure as a practice to prosperity, to manifesting. But of course, pain is a portal as well. So we don't want to hide away from pain, but we also want to invite you back into pleasure when you've gone into any kind of shutdown, contraction, protection. So first, let's show you with my stick drawing how this works in terms of manifestation, how it works through your body. So you understand. So we have the mind on board when it comes up with a lot of stories and beliefs from self-protection, from those old money blocks, because there's a lot of old patterns, beliefs, programs, blocks that will tell you that the pleasure portal to prosperity is not okay. And this is partly what we're going to be working with to create that safety, to help you work with it really consciously and mindfully. So here is you. And there is a portal, an energy center that is the bridge between your inner world and your outer world. So if we imagine that your inner world is the sacral chakra or the pelvis, which is here, and you can think about this in terms of how humans are made, that this is the womb. So let's say like the baby, the life is inside, growing in the womb, just like your visions are growing inside of you. Then at some point, when that baby's fully grown and ready, it will come through the birth canal, right through that root chakra, out into the world to be born. And a very similar process happens when we're creating anything. So with pleasure, what happens when we are in pleasure is that we are, for the most part, relaxed. So remember that step 1 to money manifestation mastery is relax. So pleasure allows our belly to relax, our nervous system to regulate. So we've got this relaxed pelvic bowl, and then it allows an opening at the base chakra, the perineum, the pelvic floor, allows this to open, right? Which creates space for your inner world, your inner self, your inner expression, who you are, right? Level of the heart, the soul, your creative self, to be expressed. So obviously this will come out through these higher realms, through our heart and through your voice, but it's also grounds and seeds what lives inside of you here to be expressed out into the world. So it sends energy down and through, down into life. So there are energetic root systems that come out of you. They come out of your pelvic floor, but also out of the base of your feet, down your legs and out through your feet as well. And we allow this flow essentially when you feel relaxed, when you feel safe, and pleasure is a way to get you into this state. And equally, so when you're in pleasure, you're open. Particularly these lower centers are where we hold a lot of money blocks. So this is why I focus so much on this part of your body. But also the root chakra, the perineum, is the gateway, if you will, between the inner world and the outer world. So this is the birthplace of things becoming physical, being manifest, physicalized, where you take this inner idea and you start to build the bridge between your inner world and outer world. And this base chakra, root chakra, is where that happens. So the other thing that happens when we're open in pleasure and you're relaxed and released, right? You open to receive, to be penetrated by life, if you will. So there is an energy that comes up from the earth, but also comes up from life, that comes from outside in, where we're drawing energy up from the earth or up from life and welcoming it into your body to allow yourself to be penetrated by life. And this means drawing energy from outside of you up. This is part of the rewired to receive process. Drawing in. The attractor factor, because this wisdom inside of you knows how to draw towards. There's the attracting in, and we do this from a state of being. We draw in towards us. So this is an incredibly powerful vortex of energy, up and in. So there's a co-creation between you sending your energy down into life, the root systems communicating with life and forming life, what it is that you want, what it is that you need, what it is that you're calling in, and then the life responding back and drawing, bringing back towards you. There's a dance between these root systems, energy you send out and energy that you draw in. And ideally, this is a dance, right? And then, of course, that feeds up, this energy feeds up into all of your energy centers and feeds you and fuels you, right? To allow you to be that beautiful fountain sharing with the world, right? And this is how, again, we draw energy up so you can give and share and show up and be visible and all the things. These are the foundations. So this is a very, very powerful state of being that we're going to take you into in a minute. But what's really, really important to understand is what stops you and blocks you from allowing this pleasure portal to flow of conscious creation. This is where a lot of the work lies, because this is wonderful. When we're in the state of pleasure, we're open, you're in alignment with abundance. But we also need to help you understand what stops or blocks you from that. Now, these are really what I lovingly call your money blocks. A very simple way to say it would be where you protect yourself from pain, where you protect yourself from hurt, and where you protect yourself from harm. And of course, we want to have discernment and really be tuning in and listening to what is in alignment with your body, what you want to let in or not let in. But for the most part, your money blocks are running unconsciously, and your protection against pleasure is, for the most part, unconscious, and it's also historical. So it may be from your childhood growing up, your family of origin, the society you grew up in, but also, your ancestral, right? That can be ancestral trauma, ancestral patterns, ancestral beliefs, societal beliefs that have created a sever or a disconnection between you and life, you and yourself, you and pleasure. And there's been a lot of shaming around pleasure, and particularly if you've grown up with a female body as a woman in the world. There's a lot of shaming around pleasure, and because of that, there's a lot of distorted energy around it. Very similar to the distortion around money, there's a lot of distortion around sex and sexual energy, for example. Sex is one way to experience pleasure, but it's also a way to experience pain. So what I say is, it's not good or bad. Same with money, it's not good or bad, it's what we do with it. And we're here to work with both of these energies, money, sex, power, in a way that is aligned with the body, the heart, the soul, the planet. And it is a choice. It comes down to a choice, but it's very, very important to bring consciousness to the unconscious, where your unconscious is still playing out some of these old protection patterns. So most people are severed or disconnected, particularly in these lower centers, when it comes to pleasure and to this pleasure portal, right? And there'll be times where you allow it to open and allow it to flow, but then there'll be times where you shut it right down again. And particularly if you're triggered, if you're challenged, if you have trauma patterns, it all creates kind of a lock around your pleasure center. So what we want to do, and what I want to take you through with today's activation, is a practice to help you relax back into pleasure. When you notice yourself shut down, contract, protect, pull away, hide, all the things, and to open yourself back up into this flow again. Essentially to get back into your co-creation between yourself, between your life, between the universe, back into co-creation with your business and with your finances, back into your co-creative power that lives inside of you, is your birthright, as far as I'm concerned, and to remind yourself to choose to come back into pleasure. It is a practice. It is a discipline. There'll be a part of you that won't want to do it. And it's to remind yourself of the power of this practice. Please remember that this can be done absolutely in the privacy of your own time. It can be private just for you. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to share it with anyone. This is your beautiful private practice, and that can be your sort of secret sauce ingredient to success. And it's that kind of je ne sais quoi secret ingredient. Be like, whoa, gosh, what has she been doing, right? Because it makes you kind of magnetic and attractive and vibrant, and people pay attention and people notice it. It's very, very interesting. Particularly, it's about, because basically this is about coming alive. This is about waking up your life force energy. This pleasure portal to prosperity is you being fully alive in a body. Right? This isn't just about sex. This is about aliveness. This is about your life force energy flowing through you and around you. And we have the capacity to experience immense amounts of pleasure with our bodies and in our life, as well as we have the capacity to experience immense amount of pain as well. Both things are true. And so we want to make sure we are holding space to work consciously with pleasure as a portal to prosperity, as an activator, as a path to conscious creation and manifestation, right? Of course, you're going to be working with a lot of pain as well. And that's just part of being a human being. But we want to remember this piece that that's a thing, number one, and that you're allowed, number two, and to remind yourself, number three, to come back to it, especially when you've contracted against it, right? Please be patient, kind, and gentle with yourself. You may or may not be able to step into full embodied pleasure. You may not be able to fully open your pleasure portal to prosperity right away, because this is a journey of trust. Opening to pleasure is immensely vulnerable. Opening to pleasure is immensely vulnerable. It is vulnerable to be open here in your lower centers. It is vulnerable to let your inner world be visible, or to be shared with the outside world. It can feel risky, and in a sense, it is a risk. So partly what we're doing in these spaces, going into sacred space to create a relationship with this for yourself first and foremost, to build trust within yourself first and foremost, and to practice. So then slowly but surely you can start to bring it out into your life, one step at a time, when you're ready. But this is all your private practice for now, that you get to do in your own time. And you get to choose, how you bring that out into the world and in what way. And it can all just be done without saying a word. So let's dive in a little bit deeper now. I hope my drawing has helped make it clear what we're going to be doing for our activation now. I'd like you to get nice and comfortable to prepare for our pleasure portal to prosperity activation, and have your pen and paper with you to write down any insights, any guidance that comes through from this part of you. And please be patient with yourself. This is a process. This is a practice. You may be carrying some very old things here, and change doesn't always happen overnight. So it's a practice to keep coming back into pleasure. And even when you've got it and you've cleared your blocks around it, there's just a natural kind of contraction that happens in our bodies. We want to keep calming you back into pleasure portal to prosperity as a powerful practice for conscious wealth creation. Beautiful. All righty. So I'd like you to close your eyes and take some deep breaths in to your pelvic floor, into your belly. And start with slow, deep inhalations and exhalations. Inhalations and exhalations. And let's prepare your body, your mind, your energy system to wake up your pleasure portal to prosperity. We're holding the intention, holding the vision, informing your body. This is what you want to explore, experience, wake up, work with. This is ancient wisdom that lives inside of you. That is your true nature. Your body naturally knows how to do this and is naturally aligned to this. So this is about you getting out of the way and allowing this powerful wisdom to wake up. So I'd like us to begin by honoring this ancient wisdom, this rich portal of pleasure through your body, mirroring out for your business and mirroring out for your bank account in time, starting with you. I'm going to start taking the breath in to your pelvis. And I'm seeing this energy starting to come in through the breath, this life force energy, universal energy, coming in through your body and starting to swirl around the pelvis. And in a way, it's coming in to sweep in, to clear out anything in your body that's stopping you or blocking you from allowing pleasure. Old stories, old thoughts, old beliefs, old patterns, programs, we're clearing out. We do that simply with the breath, breathing the breath into your body. Energy all around you, life force energy, universal energy, breathing it into the body and allowing this energy to wash through or sweep through your pelvic bowl, your belly. Keep breathing slow, deep inhalation and exhalation. I see this energy as unconditional love, peace, life, coming in to support you, to let go of a lot of old and ancient wounded stories, experiences. We hold a memory, we hold history inside of our bodies. So I want to breathe in just the deepest love and compassion and presence. It's a bit like going through old memories that you've been hiding in the basement or the loft. We're going through to clear out, the big clear out. And say, thank you. We're going to invite your body to relax so you can release. I'd like you to breathe now down at the perineum, that pelvic floor. And we're breathing energy into your genitals as well. Please include them, pelvic floor. We're breathing energy into this part of your body. We're giving permission for you to relax and release and open here. There is an energy center or a portal, if you will, this part of your body. And we are holding the space for this part of you to open and start to merge with life when you're ready. And so we're breathing this universal energy, this life force energy or divinity in through the breath, or you can visualize it through the crown of your head, coming down through the body, sweeping through the pelvis, and then we're going to release and let it go down through the pelvic floor, sending this energy down your body and out into the world, out to the earth. And all you need to do is relax and release, relaxing that pelvic floor. Getting out of the way, soulfully surrendering. And as that flows, imagine no drawing energy up from the earth beneath you, and life around you, or opening up to receive, opening up to receive. Allowing yourself to receive up, in, through the perineum, through that pelvic floor. Start to breathe up into your body. Drawing in towards you, attracting in, pulling energy up into your body. You're open and receptive and ready. Allowing yourself to be turned on by life, to come alive with pleasure through your body, in your life, breathing it in. And so now you can, if you wish, connect to the amount of money you're calling in, or anything that you want to manifest or welcome in. And now we're going to see if you'll imagine know yourself being penetrated by this amount of money. You can see if you imagine know it's beneath you. We're drawing it up from the earth, drawing it up from life around you, and drawing it in. Allowing it to fill your body, moving up your spine, aligning with your nervous system, breathing it up into the mind, into the brain. So you're fully penetrated by this amount of money as your new normal, as an isness. Drawing it up and filling up your cup, filling up your resources, allowing it in. Allowing yourself to receive it, to want it, to have it, and to hold it. Relaxing into riches. And as you're drawing towards you and receiving, this radical receiving for revolutionary riches, waking up that pleasure portal to prosperity that draws up from life the pleasure of receiving. You may witness your money blocks, your objections, your tension, contraction. You just keep breathing with them, witnessing them, receiving them as well. That's receiving, receiving, receiving. Allowing the old stories, the old beliefs to be released and transformed as you explore, as you play. Staying curious, staying open. And allow the intelligence of pleasure, the intelligence of pleasure in your body guide you, show you. How do we create rest? You can ask this pleasure consciousness questions. Show me the best way to manifest, to create, to welcome in what it is that I truly desire. It's deep, ancient wisdom inside of you that will show you and guide you if you're willing to listen. And hear. Those slow, deep inhalations and exhalations as you relax into pleasure and allow the intelligence of this pleasure to create, to draw towards you, to fill you up. And keep relaxing any tension in your belly, any tension in your pelvic floor. Holding a safe space for yourself as you navigate into the world of pleasure, conscious creation, manifestation from this place. Thank you. Take a minute to deeply honor this part of you. Bowing down, thank you. I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I honor you. You may wish to journal with this part of you, meditate with this part of you for longer, asking questions, tuning in, taking all the time you need to tap into the wisdom of your pleasure portal. And then slowly but surely, when you're ready, in your own time, you can begin to come around.